Good morning children, welcome back to English class. We are discussing C reading from third unit titled The Never Never Nest. Okay, so it's an one act play. We know the characters, right? Jack and his wife Jill, Aunt Jane and nurse. And the location was house of Jack and Jill. So in the lesson also, nest means what? The house of Jack and Jill. The house of Jack and Jill. Okay, one day Aunt Jane came to their house. So Jill was showing her house to Aunt Jane. By looking at the house, Aunt Jane, she felt very happy. She said that it was really very lovely and beautiful. Even she saw the furniture, everything, radiogram, piano, car, everything she saw that, and she was amazed, surprised, and she felt really very happy. But suddenly she looked somewhat worried. Then Jack asked her, "Why, Aunt Jane, what happened? You're looking like little bit worried." Then Aunt Jane said, "Yes, I'm thinking about one thing. Actually, at the time of your wedding, I gave you one check, right? I supposed to give 200 pounds. But by mistake, did I give you 2000 pounds?" So she was asking like that. Then Jill replied that, "No, what? Why? What are you thinking like that? You have just given us only 200 pounds. So Jill replied. So why Aunt Jane was thinking like that? Because she knows about the financial condition of Jack and Jill. So these people, they are having each and everything at their house. How was that possible? So she was thinking that maybe I gave them 2000 pounds check instead of 200 pounds. So with that extra money, maybe they bought all those furniture. But they cleared that they received only 200 pounds. Okay, so later on what happened, we'll see in today's session. Everybody open your textbooks, open page number 91. Aunt Jane. Well, that's all right, but I still don't altogether understand. This house, it's very lovely, but doesn't it cost a great deal for rent? So she said that, okay, that's well and good. If I gave you only 200 pounds, that's okay. But tell me one thing, I'm not able to understand one thing. This house is really lovely, very beautiful. It doesn't cost it a great deal for rent. So I think maybe the rent of house, maybe it will be very high. How are you able to pay that? So that was the question asked by Aunt Jane. Then Jack, what he said? Rent? Oh, no, we don't pay rent. So what Jack said? Rent? No, we don't pay rent. Then Aunt Jane, but Jack, if you don't pay rent, you'll get turned out into the street. And that would never do. You have Jill and the baby to think of now, you know. So by listening that, Aunt Jane, she felt surprised and asked, "What? You're not paying rent? Then how it came possible?" So do you know what will happen if you don't pay rent? Obviously, the owner of the house, he or she, they will not sit silently. They all, like, they turned out into the street. So you will be get turned out into the street. One day, you have to live on street. Why are you doing like that? Why are you not paying rent? You have to pay, right? You are a tenant. You have to pay the rent. So she said like that. Then Jack, "No, no, Aunt Jane, you misunderstood me. We don't pay rent because the house is ours." So Jack gave the clarification. "It's not like that, Aunt Jane. You're misunderstanding me. Why are we not paying rent? Because this house is ours. We are the owners of this house. Then we need not to pay rent. To whom we need to pay rent? This house is ours. That's why we are not paying any rent." Like that, Jack replied. Then Aunt Jane asked, "Yours?" Jill, "Why? Yes, you just pay 10 pounds and it's yours." So what she said? "Yes, Aunt, this house is ours." And she explained how that house became their own house. What she said, just we paid only 10 pounds and this house became ours. So do you think really, children, is it possible Just by paying 10 pounds, can we buy any house? Just only for 10 pounds. Pounds means, you know that, right? European currency. So is it possible to buy a house, that a lovely and wonderful house with all the comforts? Can we buy any house with just only 10 pounds? Then why is she saying like that? We'll see that. Then Jack, what he said, you see, Aunt Jane, we realized how uneconomic it is to go on paying rent year after year when you can buy and enjoy a home of your own for 10 pounds and a few quarterly payments. Of course, why be Mr. Tenant when you can be Mr. Owner? So Jack, he gave the explanation. Yes, Aunt. So we want to be the owner of the house. We don't want to live like a tenant. And why should we live like that? We are having one offer and there is a chance. So just if you pay simply 10 pounds and we can live as the owner of the house. The remaining amount we can pay as installment basis. So understood, children? Here what exactly happened? The house in which house Jack and Jill were living, actually that is not their house. They took that house on installment basis. So just they paid some initial amount. They paid 10 pounds to the owner of the house and the remaining amount they have to pay on installment basis every month. So just they thought like that. So there is a chance, then why should we live like a tenant in any house? So we want to be the owner. So we did like that. We just pay 10 pounds and remaining amount we are going to pay every month on installment basis. So if without house, obviously what we have to do, if we don't have house, we have to pay rent every month to the owner, right? So he was saying like that. Why unnecessarily we have to pay rent every month? So it's going to be uneconomic. I don't want to do like that. That's why we have taken this house on installment basis. That was the explanation given by Jack. Then Aunt Jane. I see. Yes, there is something in that. Even so, you must be getting on very well to keep up a place like this. Then, okay, Aunt Jane, she looks like she was somewhat, okay, compromised. She understood. Oh, so she thought, oh, okay, it's okay. But then tell me, I think you must be getting on very well to keep up a place like this. So, to take the house, like which is a very beautiful house, to take the house of this type, you must be getting on well. That means maybe your salary is very high. You are getting good salary. You are having plenty of money in your hand. So that's why maybe you have taken this decision. Like that, Aunt Jane said. Then Jill. Oh, he is Aunt Jane. Why? Only last year he had a 5 shilling rise. Didn't you, Jack? Then Jill supported that. Yes, Aunt, it's true, it's correct. Jack is getting very well. Even, in fact, last year he had a 5 shilling rise in his salary. So every year for employers, generally there will be rise, there will be hike in the salaries, right? So that amount will be increased year by year. So that's what she said. He was having very good amount. In fact, even he had received 5 shilling rise in his salary last year. Okay, didn't you? Didn't you is a question tag, children. Okay, next. Jack. Of course, that was nothing really. I'm expecting 10 this Christmas. Yes, I had received, there was a rise of 5 shilling in my salary last year, but that was nothing. Even this year, I'm expecting 10. So 10 shilling rise he was expecting by that Christmas. Okay, then Aunt Jane. Jack, I had just thought of something. That car, is it yours? So Jack and Jill were talking, they were explaining about their financial things. Then suddenly Aunt Jane, she something came into her mind. So she stood up and said, I had just thought of something. I'm thinking about something. Just tell me one thing. Is the car, that car, is it yours? That car, is it yours? She asked like that. Then Jill, what she said, of course, it's ours. Then Aunt Jane, all yours? So what is the meaning of all yours? She asked them, is that car yours? Then Jill replied, yes, it is ours. Then why? Again Aunt Jane asked, all yours. What is the meaning in that? So Aunt Jane, she was thinking that maybe that car is also not completely belongs to them. Maybe they have taken even that car also on the installment basis. That means even they paid only small amount. The remaining amount they have to pay. So that was the inner meaning. So she asked like that, all yours? Then Jack, well, no, not exactly all. Aunt Jane then asked, how much of it? Then Aunt Jane asked, how much of it? So then even Jack understood what she was exactly meaning. So he said that, yes Aunt, you are correct. That car, so it's not fully ours. Then Aunt Jane, she asked, how much of it? Then how much of that car actually you own? Okay. Then Jill said, oh, I should say the steering wheel and one of the tires and about two of the cylinders. But don't you see, there's a wonderful thing about it. So what Jill said, yes, the total car is not ours. So the amount which they paid as the initial amount to the car with that car, so what they can exactly own, so like it's like one steering wheel, one of the tires and two cylinders. So that's so the total amount, exact amount paid by them. For that amount, they get only steering wheel, one of the tires, and two cylinders. That's it. But immediately, what Jill said, yes, aunt, but just look at that car once. Okay, that's the wonderful thing about it, right? She asked like that. Aunt Jane, I don't see anything wonderful about it. So Aunt Jane means she is like an old lady, right? Very experienced person. She knows. Okay, so like this paying installments and buying things, it's actually doesn't go to work. So maybe in future some problems will be arise. So she knows that. That's why she said, I don't think it's wonderful. Okay. Then Jill, what she said? But there is Aunt Jane. You see, although we could never buy a car outright, we can enjoy all the pleasures of motoring for a mere £5 down. So yesterday we discussed about this EMI scheme, right? So whenever, if we are not able to buy the things, okay, by paying the total amount, generally we go for installment basis. Okay, actually this installments, EMI, we can say that it's like a business tactic. So the people, the business people, they try to attract the people to buy the things, especially the middle class persons, the common man who can't afford to buy the things at a time, okay, by paying the total amount. So to attract those people, they are giving such kind of offers and giving EMI basis. Okay, so actually we discussed that one also, right? At the end of the day, I mean end of your all installments, you have to pay extra amount for them as an interest. So who are going to lose that? So we only, we are the customers, we have to pay extra amount for them. But we are not realizing that, just we are thinking that why should we wait 1 year or 2 years? Instead of that, today only we can get all the furniture. We are thinking like that, but actually like the shopkeepers, the business people, they are getting benefit from this EMI policies. Okay, like that. Then Aunt Jane said, and the rest by easy installments, I suppose. Jill said, exactly. Then Aunt Jane said, exactly. And what about the radio? What's it? So she was asking. She got out. Aunt Jane, okay, you said house is on installment basis and even car is on installment basis. Then what about that radiogram? Jack said, well, that's also same. Then she asked, what about piano? Then they replied, of course, piano is also like that only. Then Aunt Jane asked, what about furniture then? Then Jack said, I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so means, yes, I'm very afraid. All the things, the total furniture, each and everything, we bought on installment basis only. Okay, then Aunt Jane, what she said, I suppose all you own this One is this leg. She points to one. Okay, so actually if you look at the picture children, 92 page number, there was one picture, right? So it was a launch. Okay, yesterday we discussed that, right? Everybody, all the members were sitting. There was one table. Okay, so what she said, I think she was pointing to the table where she sat, and she said, maybe if you take this furniture, I think this is also not yours. It's not belongs to you completely. Maybe you own only one leg of the table or the chair. Understood children? They paid all installment basis by paying only some amount. So if you take that chair, the amount that was paid by Jack and Jill, for that amount they get only the leg of the chair. So the total chair is also not their own. Okay, so that's what she asked, and the rest belongs to Mr. Sage, I suppose. Here, Mr. Sage, we don't know who is he exactly, but we can assume that he is the financier. That means the persons generally who give money or who sells furniture or all these things like this on installment basis. So he is Mr. Sage. Okay. Then Aunt Jane said, well, I'm not going to sit on Mr. Sage's part for anyone. Now tell me, how much do all these installments come to? So by listening that, even Aunt Jane, so the chair is also not their of own. Okay, by listening that, Aunt Jane really, she got anger, and what she said, I don't want to sit on this chair because this chair is not yours. This chair belongs to someone else, so I don't want to sit it on. But tell me one thing, how much do all these installments come to? So each and everything you are saying installments, so every month how much money you have to pay? Okay, then Jack, what he said, well actually he takes out his pocket book and consults it, actually to £7 8 and 8 pence a week. Okay, so then when Aunt Jane asked like that, Jack he took out his pocket book, and he took out his pocketbook and consults it. Pocketbook means you know that, right? Maybe in your house also your father or mother, okay, they use it to like enter the details of the budget for every month. That means how much they are getting, what are their earnings, what are their expenses, savings, how much all they'll balance. They try to balance that one, right? So like that, even Jack was also maintaining one book. So he took out that book and started by counting all those things. Then what he said, the total installments every month they have to pay, that's £7 8 and 8 pence a week. So how much they have to pay for the house and the furniture and each and everything whatever they have taken on installment basis, for that how much money they have to pay every month? £7 8 and 8 pence a week. Okay, so that was said by Jack, and later what happened we'll see in the next session. Children, I told you yesterday that I'm going to conduct a ST. So now I'll write ST questions on the board, make a note and write down in your ST book. Okay. So children, this is going to be slip test number 4. Open your workbooks, page number 76 and 76 and 77. Question number 5th and 6th. Copy those questions in your ST book and write ST. Okay. And coming to the homework, workbook page number 116 and 117, 116 and 117. Two questions are there. One is letter writing and another one is convert into play. So those two questions learn, even that also for ST. Okay. Thank you.